Good morning, everyone. We do have a good sized group just rolling in this morning, so thank you for joining us. So I'll go ahead and start my spiel so we have plenty of time to get through the presentation and answer any questions you guys may have. I do want to thank you for joining us if you were scheduled to come to this session last week, and we did have a technical snafu on our end here in our office with our Zoom account, but we are back up and running, as you can tell, and hopefully we will not run into that again. But thank you for joining us for today's webinar with Scott Clanin of Clanin Creative. Unlocking Facebook and Instagram ads. So we will go through Scott's presentation as always, and then we can address any questions that you guys have in the chat. So just go ahead and drop those there at any time. So if something on a certain slide sparks something, you can go ahead and put those in, and then I will read them to Scott afterwards. And then you will also get a follow-up email later today. It will include a link to the Clanin Creative website where you can download a copy of the presentation. Scott will also share that at the beginning of the session, and then you will get a recording of this specific webinar. So if you want to share it with someone who wasn't able to make it today that you know planned to last week, or you want to re-listen to the information, you can do that as well. I do want to thank our community partners who have helped us promote this event today. We do have a few more coming up this quarter. We have 2 a month, so you can join us in February and March. And then Scott and I are actively working on getting Q2 of 2025 scheduled. So be on the lookout for those as well. So I will hand it over to Scott and we can get started.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan, and good morning. Thank you for attending our rescheduled webinar for today. I'm going to be sharing my screen, so one moment while I pull that up. All right, Jordan, just confirm, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. All right, and again, good morning. Today's topic is unlocking Facebook and Instagram ads. Like Jordan, I also have a couple of housekeeping items. If you'd like a copy of today's presentation as a PDF, you can visit our website at clanincreative.com/workshops. Just scroll about midway through the page and you're going to see a For Attendees section. Just fill out your name and email and you'll get a copy of today's presentation. Now, I will say, in the world of digital, things do change quite often. And so every time I do give a webinar, I do really try to make sure that we have updated slides throughout. So if there are screenshots in our presentation that you try to download later that don't align with Facebook, again, Facebook, Instagram, they're constantly making interface changes. So today should be as updated as I think it is, but who knows, they could be making a change tomorrow, but you can still get a copy of this presentation on our website. Like Jordan mentioned, we have been providing a series of free marketing workshops and webinars throughout the past number of years, even before COVID. And a list of our upcoming ones can be found at the very top of this website. We're also working on our next quarter, and we have some great topics in mind. And again, all these are free to attend, and you can't beat that. A lot of what I share in these workshops and these webinars are items that I share during paid consultations with clients. So you're getting some great information for free, but I will say, like with all of our sessions, there's so much that we could talk about. We could spend all weekend here talking about just Facebook ads, but we just don't have the time. So what I'm going to give you today, really high-level information to hopefully familiarize yourself with the back end of how to set up ads. What are my options? But most importantly, what should I look for so that I can make changes to further improve my ad campaigns in the future? And again, we're going to talk about all those things. Like Jordan said, if you have a question at any point during the session today, just use that little chat box in the Zoom toolbar, ask your question, and Jordan will read me those questions at the very end. Like I said, my name is Scott. I am the owner and director of Clanin Creative. We're a full-service creative agency based in downtown Champaign, and we serve clients all across the Midwest. As a creative agency, we work as our clients' outsourced creative partners. So we build brands, website, digital marketing content, video production, and more. We started as Clanin Marketing, and so we started specifically in the world of digital marketing. And so I think the first business Facebook page I created was in 2007 or 8. And back then it was the wild west of social media. I think back then there wasn't even an official business page to set your business up. You had to set up the business as first name Clanin, last name Creative. Again, it was the Wild West and no one knew what we were doing. But since then, I've seen a ton of changes. Especially during the pandemic, a lot of these platforms expedited and rolled out some incredible new tools that we as marketers could utilize to further help promote and tell our story online. So yeah, I'm excited to share, again, tips and tricks with you today. A lot has changed over the years with social media. And I understand where you're coming from too, as a business owner or as a marketing manager, just trying to stay on top of all these changes is incredibly challenging. It's a job in itself. So yeah, so let's go through some of the topics today. And again, feel free to ask questions here at the end. One of the things I wanted to mention is this company name called Meta. We may have all have heard Meta, but Meta is basically the umbrella company of Facebook and Instagram. For those of you unfamiliar, Facebook owns Instagram. They used to be two separate competitors back in the day, but a number of years ago, Facebook did acquire Instagram, and so they are combined under one umbrella, and that's Meta. So if you hear me say Meta today, I'm really talking about Facebook and Instagram. When I say, hey, you can run a Facebook ad, you can also push that to Instagram. You can run an ad on Instagram without having an Instagram account. We'll talk about that here too in a bit. So again, Meta, umbrella company for Facebook and Instagram. All right, so let's get started. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to talk about Facebook and Instagram ad types and objectives. It's really important to understand and familiarize yourself. What are my options when it comes to advertising? From there, we're going to talk about best practices for ad creation, targeting the right audience. This is really important, right? So when you think of more traditional forms of marketing, you have newspaper ads, radio, TV, etc. Those are still great mediums, right? There's certainly a time and place for those if you're looking for more of an impression-based campaign. You're just needing as many eyes as you can on that ad or on a specific message that you're looking to get across. But with digital, you can get the right message in front of the right person. So we're going to go through a little targeting exercise to hopefully put everything into picture, budgeting, and then maximizing your return on investment. How do we do that? You have to really understand what the metrics are telling you. So instead of just looking at, gosh, we got 17 clicks on this ad this week, is that good? I don't know, right? So I'm going to help you reframe that way of thinking, and we're going to look at something specifically called a click-through rate that will help you identify whether or not that ad is successful in the eyes of Facebook and Instagram. So we're going to go through that together as well. Before you begin your ad campaign on Facebook and Instagram, there's a few things that you need to have already completed. And one of them is simply branding. So do you have your logo set? Do you have your visuals? So your color palette, your font family. But branding is more than just your logo. It's also your brand messaging. So who are you as a company organization? What's your tone? What do you sound like, right? So when you're writing the ad copy, does this sound like you? Jordan and I have a artificial intelligence webinar, a workshop coming up, where we're talking about how to utilize AI to help you strengthen your marketing strategy. I encourage everyone on today's webinar to attend that one because there's some great AI tools, but you can use AI to help you write copy for your ads. Even on the back end of now Meta, when you're setting up ads, they're starting to integrate more artificial intelligence tools. These are great. They certainly save time. But the one thing to keep in mind is that does it sound like you, right? They're going to spit out a lot of great copy and a lot of great ideas of, gosh, I would have never thought to write my ad like that. But at the end of the day, does it sound like you? There's a few organizations that I follow in the local area where I can tell overnight they started using AI to write all of their social media captions, and I can just clock it, right? It's a huge shift from what they were doing before, and it just doesn't sound like them. And so you want to make sure you have your brand messaging set, you have your brand visual set before you dive in, because you're going to need to create some type of visual to push through on Facebook and Instagram, and then you're going to have to write your copy. So having that in place is really going to help you set yourself up for success. Audience identification. So what is your ad? What are you looking to push? But most importantly, who are you looking to talk to? Because the really cool thing with advertising on Meta is that you can get pretty specific um, about the person that you want this ad to be shown to. And again, we'll go over some examples here in a bit. A website, a link, a URL, etc. Where are you sending people to? A lot of times it's, oh, I just want them to go to my website on my homepage. But do you have a specific page on your website that talks all about that product, all about that service, right? Um, one of the things to think about when you are advertising and sending a user somewhere is that you want to eliminate the number of clicks they take to perform some type of action, what we call your call to action, during their journey. So if they go to your homepage, you don't want them to have to then, you don't want to rely on them to have to then go find another page on your website, making sure that you know what's the overall, what's that link I want to put in this ad. And then again, what's the goal and objective? I think for a lot of us, we want to generate traffic to our website. And that's going to be a goal that you'll set up when you first set up your ads. But maybe you're looking to increase phone calls. Maybe some of you are a new business in the area and you want to increase brand awareness, right? Brand equity in the local community. So instead of maybe driving traffic to your website, you just want as many eyes on that content as possible. This is excellent for anniversary celebrations, grand openings, big sales happening, just getting the word out. That would be more of an impression-based campaign, meaning the number of times that ad was shown. So again, quick little checklist of things to keep in mind, because a lot of times if you haven't thought of these things and you dive into the ad manager to set up your ad, you're kind of building the plane down the runway, and we don't want to do that. So have your ducks in a row first, kind of outline what do I need to push, what does this campaign look like, what does it sound like, and who am I talking to? Having that outline is really then going to help you fill everything out that Facebook needs to run a successful ad. All right, so the one program I wanted to mention is a program called the Ads Manager. This is different from boosting a post on Facebook. A lot of times I'll ask clients like, oh, have you tried advertising on Instagram or advertising on Facebook? And they've responded and said, yeah, I boost a lot of my posts. And they're not wrong, right? They're spending money, they're putting money behind that piece of content, and it's getting pushed out there, it's being boosted. But that's the quick and easy way to deploy an ad on Facebook. Boosting, if you're all familiar, we've probably all seen this too. You see that little blue button in the lower right-hand corner of your ad. It says Boost Post. That button was started a number of years ago. They rolled that out, and it was way back in the day. And some of you may remember this. Facebook was great. You could have 1,000 followers on your Facebook page, and every time you posted something, 800 some people saw it, and you didn't have to spend anything. It was awesome. Well, Facebook wanted to make more money, of course, and they implemented, they made a change to introduce this new boosted post, and they changed their algorithm. So this is the system that helps uh, display content on our feed. And overnight, this massive change happened. So if you had that 1,000 followers, that 1,000 likes on your Facebook page, and you posted something, maybe now 100 people saw it, 50 people saw it, just like that. So in social media, Facebook, Instagram, is a free platform to have an account on, right? But it is almost a pay to play platform now, where if you're not willing to pay a little bit for some of your ads, you're not going to grow your page as fast as what you did 10 some years ago. So a lot has changed. So that's boosting a post. When you post something on your page, a piece of content, you can take an existing piece of content and push it out there, okay? Boosting a post. But to run an actual campaign, to run an actual ad campaign, you're going to use something called the Ads Manager. So this is the starting point for running any type of ad on Facebook and Instagram. It's an all-in-one tool. You're going to have a lot of options in front of you. You're going to have all of your targeting options in front of you in Ad Manager. It will walk you through the process. It is a little bit of a learning curve at first, but again, it is a little intuitive, and they do hold your hand throughout this whole process. And then what's great is that you can go in at any time, and the Ads Manager provides an incredible in-depth look of how that ad is performing, so then you can make informed decisions moving forward. Once you log into the Ad Manager, and this is what the Ad Manager look like, you could just type in like Meta Ad Manager or Facebook Ad Manager. It will come up there at the top on Google. But this is what the landing page looks like, and then you're going to click Go to Ads Manager. And once you're in Ad Manager, you're going to look at a variety of different ad types and objectives. So again, this is why it's important to go into it with kind of a mental outline, or write it down, an outline in mind, and then you can set up your ad from there. So again, thinking about what your business goals are, your ad objective is the outcome you and your business would find the most valuable. It's important to know what you want to achieve before choosing an objective. So let's walk through what those options are. So then once you do go set it up, you're like, yep, I know what I need to do. So the first one is awareness. Again, what I talked about earlier, the impression-based campaign. You want to bring just general awareness to your business. You have a big sale, you have a grand opening, you have something going on. This objective will help you reach the largest number of people who are most likely to remember your ad. Okay? Also good for a rebrand. So if you've maybe rebranded or you're changing your name or something, awareness campaign, awesome. The second one is probably the most common one. I think a lot of us on the call will probably be selecting this one, traffic. We want to increase traffic to an online destination of your choice, most likely your website. We want to send people to your homepage, send people to your online store. Let's just push people there to do something, right? Maybe it's your call to action is to purchase, buy now. Maybe you want people to sign up for a newsletter list. You want people to call for a free estimate, right? Everyone on the call will have different call to actions. But at the end of the day, we want to send traffic to our website. So that's a good one. Engagement. So maybe you're looking to just increase overall engagement with your posts. You have low engagement, and that's something else to think about too. Outside of Google Ads, you have your organic posts. Okay, these are your non-paid posts. These are just your day-to-day posts. Even though today we're talking about running ads on Facebook and Instagram, it's also important to think about your organic strategy. So making sure that you are consistently posting on these pages, because if someone sees an ad that you're running, it's like, oh, what is this? What is this company, right? And they click over to your Facebook page or Instagram page, but you haven't posted in 10 months, 2 years, right? Are they still in business? Like, obviously something's going on, right? And you don't want that. So think about your organic posts. Jordan and I certainly have a lot of different workshops about creating social media content. But when you are looking at past organic content, look at the engagement. Are you getting likes? Are you getting comments? Are you getting shares? The way Facebook algorithms work, okay, and we're talking organic posts just for a second, is if you post something, let's say you have a photo of a product that you're selling, and this is a new product that you're unveiling, you're very excited, here's a link to our website. If that post in a short period of time gets a lot of comments and a lot of likes or a number of shares, the algorithm starts thinking, wait a minute, people are responding really well to this piece of content. We're going to show it to more people, and you don't have to pay for it. How awesome is that? So Facebook ads, again, what we're talking about today, is a great way, paid strategy, to definitely get in front of people. But you can still get in front of people if you keep a very close eye on your engagement with your posts. And specifically, if you're interested in maybe Scott, how do I improve my overall engagement? How do I look back at some of my posts? Look at what's called your Facebook Insights or Instagram Insights. You can then pull a report and look at all the past posts that you've made over the past month, 3 months, etc. Look at the likes, the comments, the shares. Can you start connecting the dots? Okay, every time we post something related to blank, engagement increases by 20%. Let's do more of that, right? So you want to try to get as much engagement on your post as possible, because then that's just going to be free impressions, because the algorithm thinks, gosh, this is really hot content. We're going to show it to more people. So engagement. And then leads, maybe you're looking to capture leads, right? This is kind of a newer-ish objective. Great for people who, let's say you're an HVAC company and you're offering some sort of spring cleaning deal, right? Where for $99, we'll come out and do this and give a free estimate, something like that, right? You can run an ad, and instead of taking someone over to the website, someone clicks that ad and it's actually like a form. The form's already pre-populated with the information because Facebook knows everything about us, right? Name, number, email, and then click submit. And then you, as the advertiser, can then download a spreadsheet of people who are interested, people that want to learn more, and then you can reach out to them, which is so cool. So you can do a lead generation ad. Sales, again, you can connect your Facebook or your e-commerce shop to a Facebook store. I will say they've made some changes over the past just maybe 3-4 years to connecting your store with your e-commerce store. Before, you could sell items on Facebook or have your products on your Facebook store, and they can click buy on your website and it will take you over to your website. But now you do have to sell certain products directly through the Facebook account. And again, if you're interested in learning more about that, that is called Facebook Shops. And then the last one is app promotion. So get people on mobile devices to install or take a specific action with your app. I don't personally talk too much about apps, just with the market that we're in. We don't have a whole lot of companies or organizations that have their own app on an app store. But of course, if you did, that is an objective at your fingertips. So this is a quick screenshot. After you go to the ad manager account, it will then say choose your campaign objective. And you'll be so confident at your pick because you attended today's webinar. What is your objective? Now, as you click each one of these, or I believe hover over one of these, it will give you a little summary of what that one is. Again, most of us are probably going to be clicking the traffic objective. The traffic or awareness are probably the top two, with traffic being number one. Okay. All right. So once you select your objective, you want to then think about, well, what's the content that I'm pushing out, right? There's a variety of different ad types that you can select from. So let's go through what some of those are. The first one, photos. Very simple. We've all seen this ad type before. So photo ads, a very clean, simple format. You're using a really good piece of imagery, and that's it, right? Very simple. So this is an example from Audi, and they are just promoting one of their little crossovers here, the all-new Audi Q5. And that call to action, which you have control over, you'll be able to select what that button says. It just says learn more. And then you can click, or someone can click that, and it takes them over to hopefully a landing page all about the Q5 and not just the homepage of Audi. So super simple. We've all seen that before, right? That's if you just want to upload one photo. I will say photos are huge, right? And you have to make sure that you are uploading high quality, really good imagery. If possible, if it's in your budget, work with a local photographer. See, and I would just search for like local commercial photographers near me, okay? And look at their work. See if you can contact them and inquire about brand photography, your own custom brand photography. There are so many studies out there about, taking a photo from your cell phone versus having a professional photo, and the click-through rate difference between the two. Photos are huge, right? It captures your attention. It helps you what we call create thumb-stopping content. So when you're scrolling through your feed on the couch at night, right? Something makes you stop, drop your thumb, drop your finger, and engage with that piece of data. And sometimes it's really good high quality imagery that captures our attention. So do try to work with a photographer to create your own custom photography. It helps elevate your brand. If you're a newer organization, gosh, it could really make it seem like you've been around for a number of years. It helps us instill a sense of trust with really good imagery. So some great stuff. Now, of course, if that is not in your budget, if you're just starting off, there are, of course, stock libraries out there like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock that you can source good imagery from. There are some, of course, costs associated with subscriptions with those, but if you're looking for free commercial photography that you don't have to purchase a photo from, or I'm sorry, a license from, Unsplash, unsplash.com, or Pexels, Pexels.com. Those are two databases that I really like that you can try to source imagery from. But again, nothing beats your own custom stock. So do try to work with a photographer, and maybe they come in once a quarter, they come in twice a year and take a little series of new brand photos. This is so helpful for websites. You can use it for your website, email marketing, social media, marketing flyers. You have a lot of options available to you once you have your own custom stock. So really good stuff there. Of course, video's huge, right? We all know this now in the world of TikTok, in the world of Instagram Reels, which Jordan and I do have an Instagram Reels workshop that we are planning on how to create some great short format videos. You can promote your videos. It's not just image or stills or graphics. You can promote video as well. And video is, of course, huge right now. You can run ads in stories if you're unfamiliar with stories on Instagram and Facebook. These are pieces of content that are posted to what's called a story, and they disappear after 24 hours. But within stories, as someone is swiping through and looking at stories from different businesses or organizations that they follow, an ad may pop up along the way. And so this is a unique way to capture someone within a different area of Facebook and Instagram through the stories, right? Because you have the stream. These are all just your posts of people that you follow. You have like Instagram Reels. You're swiping through those. That's a second area of Instagram. Another area is flipping through stories. So of course, Facebook and Instagram, they want to make sure they put ads everywhere, right? We're being sold to constantly. But so you can run ads in stories. You can run ads in Messenger. I will say I personally don't have a whole lot of experience in this medium, in this kind of other area of Facebook and Instagram, but you can run ads within Messengers. Just wanted to show that as an option. Carousel. This is my personal favorite ad type. This is one that I recommend to everybody because it works for everybody, regardless of what industry you're in. We've all seen these before. Carousel ads or image card ads that you can swipe through. So here's one from Airbnb, okay? So you have these other Airbnb properties, and you can see there's your image card from $174. And if I was to swipe right, I'm going to see another image card and another one. You can add up to 10 image, I think it's still 10 image cards in one carousel ad. So you can actually market different things within one ad itself. So if you have a lot of different types of products that you want to get out, you don't have to, okay, I'm going to run one ad just for this product, one ad just for this. What if we brought it all together and really showed, hey, we're your one-stop shop for a variety of blank. Here are some options. What I love about this too is that each card, you can link each one to a different URL. So if that product or that service has its own landing page on your website, link it directly to there. So cool. And then each card, can you tell I'm excited about carousel ad? Each card has a title in the lower corner, and you can change the title for each one. So not everyone is the same. I love it, right? I've used it so many times, very successful. You can even look at a report on the back end of your ad manager account to see which card people are responding to the most, like what image, what product. And then I believe now Facebook will reorder your carousel campaign over time. So some of your most popular cards will show first. So incredible ad type. It works for so many people. You don't need to put the full 10 images. You could just put 3. You could just put 4 if you wanted to. The very last card, you have an option of uploading your website. So it'll just take someone directly to your website. Or if you have a brick and mortar location, you can actually say, hey, show my map. And it'll show like a little map with the pin of your location. I think we'll say like get directions or show location. Really cool stuff. So carousel, my personal favorite one. It works for so many people. Lot of flexibility. You can pack a lot of information within the ad without seeming overwhelming, right? You just want to make sure you don't put too much copy within your ad type, right? You don't want 2 or 3 paragraphs long. That's way too much. But again, you can promote a ton in just one carousel ad. I'm going to get a quick drink of water and then we'll circle back to this screenshot here. All right. So here's another screenshot of a carousel ad. On the left-hand side, we have a carousel ad that's what it looks like on a Facebook stream. Again, we've all seen those before. Our clinic perfected foaming wash gently cleanses away oil, makeup, and surface. Okay. And then you have maybe different images, brand images, custom brand images of the product. Daily foaming face wash, shop now is the call to action. If I was to swipe, it's talking about it being a bestseller, probably shop now. So again, that's what it looks like on Facebook. And on the right-hand side, this is what it looks like on Instagram. So instead of kind of showing a little preview of the next card, it will just expand the whole first card, the full width of the page. And then you're going to see those little dots there in the middle. Starting with the blue one, that's the one that you're on. And that just tells me I can swipe through these. And then of course it says sponsored underneath the name of the business, just to indicate that this is a paid advertisement. Of course, with Instagram, your copy that you put in is at the bottom of the image, and the one on Facebook is at the top. I wanted to mention that because you want to avoid saying, click the image below or check them out below or something like that, because it will be different on Instagram because the ad is directly above that copy. So yeah, those are carousel ad, some of my favorite ones that I love advertising with. Collection, these are related to your Facebook shop. Again, that's a whole nother topic. We'll dive really deep into that. But if you're interested in looking into that, again, that is called Facebook Shop. You do have to set up a shop directly on Facebook, import products, import certain things. Again, they've made a change that I really didn't agree with. Whereas before you could still have your e-commerce store on your website, but then still connect it over to Facebook and someone will say, hey, I really want these pair of shoes. Then you had the option of just saying, visit product on website. I click that and it takes you over to the e-commerce website where they complete that transaction. Now, they're making you check out directly through their Facebook e-commerce store. So you could still do this, but it has made there has been a recent change. And again, it may change back. I think they've kind of been retooling this Facebook shop, Facebook collection thing over the past number of years. But that's how it is currently. Instagram experience. This is a kind of a cool thing. It looks like a website. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's called Instant Experience. And I can click it. I can click your ad, almost like that Audi ad. It just looks like a photo ad. But then it takes me to this landing page. Okay. And I'm not even on your website. It's a page that you design in Facebook, and you have the ability to add like a full width image at the top or video, a paragraph of copy, a good button, maybe another image, a gallery, paragraph of copy, and another button. You build that within Facebook. This is an ad type called Instant Experience. So let's say you have a website and then you want to run an ad, okay? Someone clicks your ad, they visit your website, they can learn more information about that product or service. But let's say you have a lot to say, okay? And it might be too much to say and then the ad over here, because you don't want to put too much copy in your ad. So you run an ad. Instant experience is I kind of think of it as like that middle point between the ad and your website, that middle stopping point. So they click the ad, something catches their eye, they click it. They then land on this instant experience where they have more of a slightly more in-depth version of what the ad was about. So we're talking about a little more, we're really talking about the benefits and everything. And then they can land over to your website. So one of the things I would recommend is maybe watching a YouTube video or two about instant experience ads. They are really cool, but it does take a little more time to set these up. Again, my recommendation is maybe starting with carousel to familiarize yourself with how a standard type of ad is set up. And then if you want to try instant experience, you can. But that is a cool ad type. Lead ads, these look a little blurry, I apologize. But if you look at the one over there on the left, it says Jasper's Market. What does that say? Fresh organic food delivered. So if I was to click that, it looks just like an ad, like that Audi photo ad, right? I click it and I would think I'm going to go to someone's website. But instead, I'm going to sign up for something. So this is a lead generation. I click it and then it takes me to that form I talked about. And it already has my name and email and phone loaded in. I click submit and then I'm done. So let's say if it's like sign up for your free blank, right? I could do this. I never left Facebook. And I may not know that as a user. I might think I'm still on, or I'm on now that person's Jasper's Market website. But this form is actually a Facebook form. And then I can click submit. And then you as the advertiser will get the information so then you can reach out to me. So again, it helps eliminate the need or the extra step where I click the ad, I then visit your website, fill out the form on your website, and then submit it. This is just a quick way to capture the information. It's already preloaded. And then you as the advertiser, get the information. I might skim through this because we did talk about this earlier, but what are boosted posts? Again, boosted posts are just those quick little thing, that blue button to promote, boost something that's already on your page, your Facebook page or your Instagram page. These are great if it's just something quick, right? Let's say, for example, across Champaign County right now, it's restaurant week. So let's say if we all owned a restaurant, we had a special restaurant week menu that we wanted to share. So let's just say restaurant week, I can't remember when it started, but let's just say it started on Saturday, might have been Saturday, last Saturday. And let's say last Friday, we as the marketing specialists for this restaurant, we post our restaurant week menu. Hey, here's our restaurant week. We can't wait to welcome you in and try some new incredible things on our restaurant week menu. I could post that menu, and then boosting a post would be the perfect strategy for that because you only want to run it for about a week. And boosting posts is great for an existing post that you've already made for a short period of time. So I'm going to boost that for 1 week. More eyes are on it. Perfect. So you don't need to go through the ad manager account and set up a separate ad. You can just easily do that through your Facebook page. Okay. We're going to segue over to best practices for ad creation. I'm going to get one more drink. I apologize. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold here, and then we'll dive into this next section. All right, so let's dive through best practices for ad creation. One of the things to be careful about, and this is a new-ish thing they rolled out with, well, it might have been before the pandemic. I keep forgetting the pandemic was 5 years ago. Set special ad categories. Okay, so if you, which I don't think a lot of us on the call are offering credit cards to people, but any ad related to credit, employment, housing, or social issues, you have to declare that when you are setting up an ad. Okay, there are just some rules. For example, when you click employment or housing, really any of these, Facebook will strip away and remove your targeting options, which makes sense, right? You don't want, someone should not be running an employment ad, but say only show this to people between these ages, right? I live, so we don't want that. Same thing for housing. So just make sure if you do have an ad that could fall within one of these, you are declaring that ahead of time, or you could get in trouble, and we don't want to get in trouble, right? Remember to set an end date and location. So many people forget to do this. I can't tell you the number of times I see an ad for um, something in a whole, like out in the East Coast, like a condo out in the East Coast. Like, why am I even seeing this? And I look into it and I see that they never set the location. By default, a lot of times, Facebook will set the location to the whole United States. Now, unless you want to advertise the entire United States, you're going to want to you're going to want to change that. So you're going to set a start date, but Facebook's not going to be like, hey, when do you want to end this? Like they're not going to alert you to that because they want that ad to just run. So make sure that when you're setting things up, go slow, set your start date, set your end date, and then make sure you have your location. Your location can be a number of locations, right? If you wanted to target the entire state of Illinois, you could put Illinois on there. You can target cities. You could say, I want to target Champaign in a 10-mile radius. I want to target all of Champaign County. I want to target Champaign County, McLean County, Vermilion County, right? You can add different targeting settings to where you want your ad to show. Anything from cities, counties, entire states if you want to. And you can stack those. You can add more and more to those. Connecting your Instagram account. So some of you probably have an Instagram account for your business. You can connect the two together so then it will automatically push your Facebook, like the ad that you create through your ad manager, you're basically telling it push directly to my Facebook account and my Instagram account. And of course, just making sure, like we talked about earlier through that checklist, have your content ready, make sure you have nice quality images, graphics, and or videos to support your ad. Canva is an incredible tool for those of you who aren't very savvy in the world of like Adobe products, like Illustrator, InDesign. That's the formal way to design ads. There's some of these big design programs. But again, these are used by professional graphic designers, like what we have in our team. They went to school for graphic design. They know these programs very well. This is what they studied. But Canva is more of a template-based platform. A lot of these designs are already pre-designed for you. So you can go in, adjust the messaging, something that captures your eye. The big thing to think about is it might be worth you paying for the premium version of Canva, because then you can really start customizing these ads so they better align with your brand visuals. We're talking fonts, colors, logos, right? So there's a lot that you can do, but Canva can really help take your content from here to here with a lot of their pre-built settings, and they have all their sizing and everything in there as well. Okay, excuse me. Have ad text ideas. So what is the copy of the ad? Remember to use less copy on image, graphic, and more within the body of the ad. What do I mean by that? I've seen some people that will create a square ad on Facebook, but then they'll put all the copy within the ad itself. You don't want that. Try to avoid putting a ton of copy within an actual graphic. There's a variety of reasons for that. One of them being just screen readers. For those of you, those who may be visually impaired, they're using screen readers. And the screen readers, unless they've really improved, they can't really read that text on the graphic because it's all just a flattened image. So you want to make sure that you're adding your really good, captivating copy within this copy section here. These new stars are some new things that they recently rolled out with here, these yellow stars here. So craving a coffee break, indulge our rich, flavorful brews at Champagne Coffee House. Your perfect cup is ready to be served, right? And then it will give you some other ad options, which is really cool. And then Facebook might rotate those out. So that's where artificial intelligence is starting to come in. So you can type something in and it will give you some thought starters for some other ideas. At the end of the day, though, just make sure it sounds like you. It's on brand with your brand personality and brand tone. Complete every field. Go slow, like I said earlier, and make sure to complete every field, especially for carousel ads. So again, with these being my favorite, looking over on the left-hand side, it says 3 of 10 cards added. So that means I'm on card 3. I can then add in my image for that card. What's my headline? What's my little description? And what's that URL that I want to send people to? Now, if you want all of your cards to be sent to that same URL, you're going to click apply to all cards, and boom, it will automatically add that URL to all the cards. But if you have a separate landing page, separate area of your website for that product or service, you can definitely link them to just that specific URL. Okay. And these are screenshots directly from the backend of Facebook, or I'm sorry, Meta Ad Manager. So if you're like, oh, that looks pretty simple, it is. Just take your time, and again, it will walk you through everything that you need. While you're setting it up, what's really cool, on the right-hand side, it's going to give you a little ad preview. So it will show you what this ad looks like on Instagram, on Facebook, on a mobile device, okay? And for those of you who are on the call who are like marketing managers, marketing directors, and you report to maybe a board or a supervisor or someone else that might need to sign off on these ad previews, what's really cool is that you can set everything up, and then you can click that share button. See that share button with that drop down triangle? It will generate a link. And then you can send that link to someone, and it will then say, and once they click it, they're going to see the ad that you set up in all different file formats, or I'm sorry, not file formats, but set it up in all different mediums. And then you can say, hey, here's this ad for this upcoming campaign. Here are the copy and the images I selected. Let me know if you have any changes. And that's what we've used as an agency in the past as well. Okay, so you can preview your ad. All right, we have about 10 minutes left, so I might speed up just a little bit. And we're going to talk about audience and metrics, and be sure to get some questions in that I can help answer at the very end. Okay, so your audience. Of course, big thing just to kind of skip through this section here. Who do you want to talk to and what's most important to them? So think about who will be the perfect customer for your product or service. What are their hobbies? Where do they live? What are they interested in, right? And we're going to go through a quick little example here. There's different types of audience setups. A lot of times we're going to be using core audiences. We're going to tell the program, these are the people that I'm looking to reach. So very quick example here. This is an actual example from a client that we worked with. Private limousine company, they wanted to put together a package where they will provide luxury black car, suit, tie, chauffeured service, a trip, and they have different types of vehicles, SUVs, vans, buses, etc. They will take you and your friends, a group of people, up to a Chicago Cubs game, and it comes with tickets and everything. So they'll take you up, wait for you while the game is going on, and then drive you back down. They have a location in Champaign, location in Indianapolis, and they serve like a 20 or 30 mile radius around their garage. Okay. So that's the very quick example, the quick goal of what this campaign is, what this promotion is. So let's think about it, right? Who are the people that would be interested in this type of product? Okay. Well, one of the first things we have to think about as we're loading in our ad, okay, these are the age of individuals. Let's just say from data we already know, it's about starting at 30 all the way up to 65 and plus. We know for sure we need to target Champaign and Indianapolis in a 30-mile radius. But let's take it a step further. Think about those individuals, right? These are people who, if you're looking for a black car service and tickets and everything, this isn't the cheapest trip, right? So these are people with more of a disposable income, people who have more of a disposable income are really interested in maybe traveling, first class travel, luxury experiences, okay? Real estate, maybe they go to luxury resorts, or they follow a lot of luxury type of pages on Facebook. So you can target all those in your ad manager, and it says include people who match one of the following. But one of the things to think about too is the other element to this campaign is that it's a Cubs trip, right? So yes, they need to be interested in these. There's a good chance if they fall within these categories, they have a little more of a disposable income, but they should probably be a Chicago Cubs fan, right? We don't want to target like a Cardinals fan. So then there's another category, excuse me, and must also match one of the following, and they're interested in Chicago Cubs. Now, if we weren't to do this in the second category, okay, let's say if we put everything you see on the right-hand side over to the column on the left, what will happen? You may target someone who's interested in Chicago Cubs, but maybe they just don't have that income, right? So we're trying to hit people that kind of match the perfect audience here. So they have to match everything on the left, and they should match one of the following there. So they're interested in these items and they're a fan of Chicago Cubs. Hopefully that paints a picture of how to set this up. History Museum, let's say we're doing something on Abraham Lincoln. And let's say this is more of a regional one where it's really cool. It's going to show you a little map of where you put your pins. So include people who match one of the following. They're interested in American Civil War, American history, Abraham Lincoln. Okay. So this is really good. And what's great, something I haven't discussed yet right now, or in this presentation yet, is this little needle icon that you see there at the bottom. You want to make sure that needle is always in the green. Your audience is defined. Good job. Now, let's just say I decided to run this just within Leroy, Illinois, a smaller community. And people who are just interested in Abraham Lincoln, that needle might go to the left and might hit specific, meaning that you need to cut down on some of these targeting options or expand your reach. So basically what it's saying, hey, between Champaign, Leroy, McLean, and the mile radiuses, and people within those areas between the ages of 25 and 65 who have an interest in Abraham Lincoln in those two other categories, there's about 67,000 people within that area that we can estimate. So your audience is defined. So just make sure it's always in that green as you are adding in your targeting settings. All right, and lastly, we're going to talk about budget. Big thing for budget to remember is that you're always in charge. There's no long-term commitments at all on Facebook. You can say, hey, I have, let's say, want to spend about $300, $400 a month, or maybe just this 1 month just to kind of see. You can do that. You can set your start and end date. Here's how much I want to spend, run with it. If you decide, you know what, after a couple weeks it's just not working well, you can pause the campaign and regroup. So you're always in charge. You can get results on any budget. Boosting a post, if you want to boost that for $25 for the week, you can do that too. You're going to see more eyes, and you will see when you look into your Facebook insights that that little boosted post that you made for $25 for that week is going to get more eyes on it for sure. So you're really in charge of your budget. And the last couple slides here before we get to questions, this is a screenshot of what you'll see once your ad is running or completed, okay? So we can see that we got that first column, that first row, we got 711 link clicks. Our reach, we reached 4,099 people, and impressions is 21,960. Okay, Scott, what's the difference between reach and impressions? Reach, the number of people. Impressions, the number of times I saw the ad. So let's just say I saw that ad 3 times and I was the only one. That'd be sad. Reach is 1, impression is 3. So the column to look at, if you kind of roll over to the column for frequency, this is the average number of times the ad was shown. Okay, so that's why impressions are going to be a lot higher than your reach, because people saw it a few times, and that's okay. You want people to see that ad a few times. However, once you start getting at about 6 or 7 frequency, it's about time to shut that ad off because you don't want to become annoying. We've all seen that ad so many times and say, okay, that's enough. And you start ignoring it. You're just wasting money at that point. Okay, the one thing to think about, and there is a column I didn't put on here, but you can select it. Excuse me. You can select it on Facebook Ad Manager, and that's called a click-through rate, your CTR. So your CTR is basically I have a little calculation here. It's weighing your clicks against your impressions. And you can even Google like click-through rate calculator and you can put in all the numbers and it will generate a little click-through rate. Your average click-through rate on Facebook is anywhere between 2 to 5%. I think now maybe it might be like 1.5 to 5%, somewhere within that range. But that is a good click-through rate. Now, if you're seeing a click-through rate of like 0.30, 0.5%, we need to make some changes. Okay, we need to look at, is it the copy? Is it the imagery? Is it the graphic? This helps us evaluate how well the ad is performing. Because again, like I said earlier, if I said, hey, your ad this week got 20 clicks over to your website, and you're going to say, neat. Is that good? I have no idea. If I say, hey, you got 20 clicks over to your website, and it was shown 30 times, and you got 20 clicks with it being shown 30 times, you have a pretty high click-through rate. But if you got 20 clicks to your website and it was shown 500 times, you have a very low click-through rate. So the click-through rate kind of bridges that metric gap. Hopefully that was a good, quick little example to really show that, yeah, this is performing well because people are engaging with the ad. Now, of course, the other element to think about, maybe you're sending a ton of people to your website, you're getting really good above average click-through rates, but they're not doing something on your website. What can we do to improve your website? Imagery, copy, right? Landing page experience. So there's a lot that you can look at there. It doesn't stop just at the Facebook metric. It doesn't mean, gosh, you got above average here, now we're successful. This is just, this campaign in Facebook's eyes was successful because these were your numbers. This was your click-through rate. Okay, we'll say too, every industry has their own average click-through rate. So you can type in the industry that you're in. So type that in and then type in Facebook ad average CTR rate or average CTR, and it will give you percentages. Again, every industry has a separate percentage. These are more blended averages. Okay. All right. So that was our crash course in unlocking Facebook and Instagram ads. I hope that was helpful to really paint a picture of these are the areas that you need to go. These are things that you need to think about when you are setting up and running a successful ad campaign. And I know it can be overwhelming. I have certainly followed along over the years of even before Facebook was offering advertising. So a lot has changed. There's some really cool stuff out there. Facebook, Instagram is still a good platform to advertise on. And what's great is that you're in control of the entire thing. You're in control of the budget. You have access to metrics at all times. So then you can make some informed decisions. So I'm going to hand it over to Jordan to see if we have any questions, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. We surprisingly actually don't have any questions right now. So I will say I know that was a lot of information to cover, in an hour of your time. So when you get the follow-up email later this afternoon, please feel free to reach out, schedule a meeting with an advisor here at our SBDC, things like that if you have additional questions. I do know some of this is touched on in other sessions we do too, so please feel free to always join us for additional sessions that we have. Moving forward, they will be back in person at the library starting in February. They were just doing some renos on a room, so we've been holding these online and we appreciate you guys joining us. I will say too, before I forget to add this, if you are here for the City of Champaign program, please shoot me an email following this session or respond to the follow-up email so I know. Someone asked, hello, is there someone who can help me create a business Facebook page for my business of childcare? I will say we can assist with that here in our office, but we can't physically do it for you. So if you stop in and that's a topic of conversation with an advisor, you are always welcome to address that. Scott, I don't know if you want to touch on creating a page at all and just the process, maybe how easy it is.
Yeah, it is pretty easy. I love the idea of talking with someone at the SVDC just for, advisory. And I know the library also has like business services as well, and they might be able to offer some assistance. But it is pretty easy to get up and rolling because they want it to be easy. They want everyone to have a Facebook page. So yeah, I mean, my recommendation is always go slow, take your time, because a lot of times people do end up missing a critical thing during the setup of a page or an ad. And then make sure you have all of your assets available. So you have a logo that will fit within the profile frame. You have a really good image for your Facebook header. The other thing that I really like too, going back to Canva, is Canva has all those designs, or I'm sorry, those dimensions loaded in. So you can say, I need a Facebook header. Boom, it will size everything, and then you can create a graphic for your Facebook header in Canva.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, so Cynthia, you had dropped that in the chat. I know you've worked with our team before, so please feel free to make an appointment with one of our advisors. I can follow up via email with that too. Let's see, it doesn't look like we have any other questions rolling in. So I do want to thank everyone for joining us today. And again, apologies for the rescheduled date, but I'm so glad some of you were able to find your way back to us on today instead of last Tuesday. Again, apologies for that. But thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Scott, for presenting. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, have a great weekend, and we hope to see you at one of our next workshops. See you then. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.